lastly, we are going to talk about different scenarios with bid updates. And um, about the bid updates that I just said, so every and like each keyword have their individual bits, and like it is also something very dynamic, because like for example, let's say that a keyword's bid is performing quite well for you, but like in the next morning you can see that these keywords that were very well performing for you, they became very expensive for you, because like let's say that there is a new competitor that appeared in the market and they bid on these keywords in a very high level, and your CPA may go very high. So this is quite dynamic. And it is like the automations that are like in searchers.com, we have some automations, and these automations are checking each and every keyword like automatically and arranging the bids automatically as well. So okay, I want to briefly mention about the automation templates we have in our dashboard. So in order to be able to arrange the bits of each of the keywords that we have in our ad groups, we can create some automations. And to make it easier to create automations, we have some already made templates, and like using these templates are going to make it quite easier for you to create automations. For example, here you see a CPA based automation template, and for example, this template says like it gave a condition, like if my CPA is greater than $21, and if my installs, we have two conditions here. If my installs in the last day is greater than 10, then take this action, we can say. So this is a template. You can make arrangements. This is just an example. So this is how we have templates. We have a lot of templates like based on other metrics as well. It is an example of CPA based. And also we can create our own automations like from scratch as well. So here is a basic example of a CPA based, cost per acquisition based automation set that we are using for one of the apps that we are working with. So this is an automation set that we are using actually. And I want to briefly mention how we are setting, like what to pay attention while setting these a set of automations. So for example, here, like this client said that I don't want my CPA, cost per acquisition, to be more than $1. And so we divided this KPI into ranges, because like they didn't want to exceed $1 threshold. So we divided this into ranges, and we say that like if my CPA is lower than 50 cents, so these keywords are going to be quite profitable for me, right? These keywords are bringing quite cheap users for me. So if my CPA is lower than like 50 cents, like change the bid of this keyword and increase their bids by 20%. So I want a drastic increase in their bids, because these keywords are quite cheap for me. So I want to win the auction for these keywords all the time, because I want to acquire the cheap users. So this is my first range. Okay, this is the cheapest users range. And my second range is going to be if my CPA is between $0.5 and $0.75. Like this seems like a small range, but like at this point, while selecting your ranges, you should consider your own data. You should pay attention to how each of these like how many keywords each of these automations are going to cover. And like for example, since we are focusing on installs in these automations, you should also pay attention to like the amount of installs that each of these automations are going to cover. So if one of the automations, if this automation is going to cover two keywords, it is pointless to have an automation. You should arrange your bits based on your own present data and the time range. You should also consider your time range here as well. For example, maybe you are not going to have enough data, sufficient data in 3 days. Maybe you should focus on 1 week or 2 weeks. So this is also something that you should pay attention to while setting automations. So my second range is going to be if my CPA is between 0.5 and 0.75. This is again within my KPI. These keywords are again bringing cheap users for me. So I want to increase the bits of these keywords 10% this time. Not as much as this one, but again, I want to increase their bits. So if it is between 0.75 and $1, this is again within my KPI. I want, but this time not that much, not that cheap when compared to the others. And this time increase their bits like 5%. And if my CPA is between $1 and 1.25, this time these keywords are above my KPI. But these keywords are expensive for me, so I want to decrease my bits for these keywords like 10%. You can add a lot of other metrics, like a lot of other conditions here at the same time as well. You can like decrease or increase like bits in a very complex way. I just wanted to give a very basic example just to like draw a framework in your minds, but you can focus these automations based on any metric that you want, like ROAS, like conversion rate, whatever is important for you. You can create your automations based on the metric that is important for you. And this is a basic example, like an ideal example to set our automations.